Okay, so today we're gonna be cooking some mushrooms, some freaking ramen right there, and I'm gonna experiment a little bit. I'm gonna throw some hot Cheetos in there, you know what I mean? But what I'm actually gonna do today is something different that I don't usually do. I'm gonna prepare the noodles separately, and the broth, which is gonna be here, is gonna be separately. Bro. Wait, give me a taste first. Well, hot Cheetos are so good. Okay, so first we're gonna make the broth right here. Should be easy. What you need for the broth is basically need one of these, which you guys, the Americans, are not gonna have. Probably you guys have it. You guys have Goya over there. Well, anyway, this is like chicken seasoning, like a bouillon, however you pronounce it. Take one of these. Okay, so you take one of these, which they come in like a powder form. You put it in there. We're also gonna use, obviously, the flavor powder that you have in here on the ramen soup. We're gonna use that too. See how we take these? You know, this is beef flavor? What the hell? I thought I was checking. Okay, so here we got the seasoning from the ramen. We're gonna add that too. And this is what makes this, I think, a stoner recipe. I'm gonna add some Cheetos into the broth. I don't want to add the Cheetos into the noodles themselves because I don't want them to be crunchy. However, I do want the broth to have like a Cheeto kind of flavor to it. This looks so awful. Let me add this here. I think that's enough. Yeah. I'm not licking my fingers, you are. And while the broth is cooking, I'm gonna take the mushrooms and I'm gonna chop them down. I'm gonna make them to very tiny pieces. Bro, look at it. The Cheetos are fully dissolved into the broth. I wasn't even expecting. That's even better. That means I get the Cheeto flavor without having to pick up the... Oh my god, I'm a goddamn genius. Okay, so aside from the mushrooms, I also cut a little bit of onion to add. This is all going to be added to the noodles themselves, not to the broth. I'm going to use butter for the noodles and sofrito, which is very Puerto Rican. What is in sofrito? You can see it right there. You see all those ingredients right there? Garlic, like peppers and all that. All of that is like merged into this. So that's gonna add a little bit of flavor. I'm not gonna use too much. And what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna stir fry the noodles a little bit with butter. You know, I never really done it. Like I said, I never really done noodles this way individually. But I just wanted to try it. I'm also gonna be using some seasonings. Maybe to spice it up. I'm gonna be using some cayenne pepper to make it spicy. Not too spicy though, but a little bit spicy. I'm gonna be using garlic powder, which is a great way to add garlic to your meals, and also make them a little bit salty. And we're gonna use a little bit of curry. Not too much curry though, because this is a very powerful taste, and it's gonna take over the whole plate if you use too much of it. So I'm gonna be using just a little bit. Oh crap! I think I messed up already, dude. Okay, the ramen. This ramen is pretty strong. How am I gonna get this to soften up? Maybe if I add a little bit of the broth. Let's try the broth, actually. I haven't tried it. Huh. You know, it's not bad, but it's not as flavorful as I want it to be. I'm digging the little spicy flavor that... Oh, okay. I think the Cheetos was a great idea. You know what? It's not super salty, but I don't want to make it more salty. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder, and that's going to be it. Okay, so now the noodles have softened up a little bit. Like I said, I used the broth to make them a little bit softer. It has a nice color. It doesn't quite pick it up on the video, but in real life it looks more reddish. It has a really nice color. Okay, so now before I add the mushrooms and the onions, which I chopped to tiny little pieces because I don't want it. I want it to merge with the noodles in a very even way. I don't want to have like big chunks of anything. I kind of want it to merge with like the noodles. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the sofrito, papi, puertorriqueño, tatalan, tatalan. I'm gonna add the garlic. I'm gonna add the cumin. No, the curry. Okay, let's start with the curry. Curry has a very strong flavor. Actually, just by me adding curry, it's kind of ensuring that this whole plate is going to taste like curry. But that's why I don't want to add too much. Just a little bit here and there. Okay, now we're going to add the sofrito. This is going to be, I think this is too much actually, but whatever, bro. Let's spread it out. Now, I'm not gonna lie, maybe it was a better idea to boil the noodles first in a little bit of water or a little bit of broth and then, you know, cook them separately. But I did it this way. I mean, cooking is trial and error after all, and this is my first trying it, so I'm not gonna be too hard on myself, but that's really what cooking is all about, is to just try stuff, see what works, see what doesn't work. Now we're gonna add the cayenne pepper. This is another thing, I mean, for people that don't like spices, this is not that spicy. It adds a little bit of flavor aside from the spice, but if you use too much of it, it's an overpowering taste too. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of it. Here we have the garlic powder. I love garlic, bro. Garlic has such a strong taste too. But again, this is why I'm kind of like not using a lot of these, because most of these things just have a very powerful taste. So if you use too much on them, it's gonna overpower everything. This smells actually pretty good, not gonna lie. Okay, now we're gonna add the mushrooms. This, you know, to my surprise, both of these ingredients, mushroom and onions, are a bit of an acquired taste. Not everybody, I've met a lot of people that don't like onions and they don't like mushrooms for some reason. I mean, I'm gonna, at least for me, onions, I love onions. I freaking love onions, dude. But mushrooms was something that I didn't grow up eating that much. So it was a bit of an acquired taste for me as I got older. But now that I like them, they provide like a very earthy taste to things. They're a nice supplement for meat. Now I'm just gonna let this cook a little bit more, and after I'm done, I'm gonna give it a taste test and we see what it tastes like. Okay, so the meal is set. I let it rest for a little bit. Here we have the noodles. They look like worms, dude. Just a bunch of little worms. I actually fried the noodles a little bit. I also added a little bit more curry and a little bit of more garlic, salt, because it was a little bit bland. Here we have the broth. The broth is actually, I think, the best thing about this whole thing. It has the little, you can see the little powder here. That's the hot Cheetos. Original recipe. I think a lot of stoners have probably cooked this or something with hot Cheetos in general. But anyway, now we're gonna do the taste test and I'll let you guys know how it tasted. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so I took a spoonful of these without the broth, and it's not bad, honestly, but I think it needs like meat or something. Actually, I think I messed up. I should have added bigger pieces of mushroom so it could feel like meat. But it's a little bit spicy, not super spicy. I like the level of spice that I achieved because it feels warm. It feels like mama's cooking, if you know what I mean. If you're Italian, I guess. It feels warm, you know what I mean, but not super spicy. By its own, you can eat it on its own, dude. But just have like shrimp, this will be banging. Some of the pieces are crunchy, others are soft. That's exactly what I wanted. I think this is gonna need the broth though. The broth I'm gonna taste on its own. Okay, the broth is pretty damn good though. This honestly, I just need to do this and we're good. Let's see how it tastes, everything together. I'm not gonna lie, this doesn't look very good. This looks pretty awful. Yeah, well, it mainly has to do with the camera, and it just doesn't look that appetizing, honestly. You know what? No. Doesn't work. The crunchiness doesn't really go with the broth. On its own, it could taste better if, like I said, I added some shrimp. Maybe fried it a little bit more. in a wok. Unfortunately, I don't have a wok. But the broth by itself is very good. Not super good. I'm not gonna super flatter myself, but it's not super salty or it's not super overpowering in any taste. So that's pretty good. The noodles, like I said, on their own, if I had added more garlic to it, probably tastes better. But combining both was a mistake. This is not as good as they are individually. I will rate this. So I will rate this meal, I guess, a 4 out of 10. I guess. I mean, if I was on a cooking show, I'll probably be eliminated. So I'm one of those people that even when I fail, I got a cooking experiment, I eat it as punishment. So I'm just gonna get some water because it's a little spicy, and I'm gonna finish the whole goddamn thing. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.